building up here. Criminals in the government, criminals in the Attorney's office, and criminals in the court. And the Crown prosecutor didn't even turn up because she already knew what the answer was, because it was preordained that we were punished over Big Bride, and that will stop further whistleblowers. We'll treat him bad, we'll ruin his career, ruin his life, and that will prevent other people from whistleblowing. It's not okay. It's only a matter of time before they come for you. Remember, they'll know exactly where you are, because a digital ID will tell them, because your car has a Bluetooth device digitally connected, has an IP address.
Oh, they're coming. They might be coming to protest.
So, looks like we've got another protest starting. This is number 3 for the day, and it just shows you the current state of the government and the people, how disconnected they are from the people. When you have 3 protests in the middle of the week in one day, because the Australian government do no longer work for the people, they work to feather their own nest, to create their own problems. And I'd like to thank the people that were here today who listened. I'd like to thank the people at the David McBride rally this morning. I'd like to thank the people that came to the Governor Generals and asked them to step up for the people. It is time that the Australian government listen to the Australian people. There's plenty of voices in the Australian government, but there's no ears apparently. Well, you're born with one mouth and 2 ears. How about you shut up and listen, Mr. Albanese? It's time to step down and issue a writ for fresh elections, Governor General. The Australian people have had enough of a government who doesn't listen to the Australian people. A government who is only there to feather their own nest. Accountability is needed after terms of office. If you make a shit decision while you're in office, it follows you to the grave. It's time for the Australian people to take back this country. It's time for the Australian people to stand up and make Australia great again by making Australian people great again. It's time for the Australian people to remove this government and put in one who stand for the people.
And the Constitution.
The Australian Constitution says no parties are allowed. That's right, the Australian Constitution says that parties are illegal. And yet they have parties. They also have two-party preferred system.
What's your name, mate?
And that's not good either, because people who vote for this person, their vote ends up with that person. That is not how it works. One vote, one person. One person, no parties. The Australian Constitution says no parties.
They don't use the Constitution anymore, mate. They don't use it.
We do have paperwork from the New South Wales attorney saying that the Constitution still stands in this country. It's being said in court.
The government's not abiding by it. No.
The government don't abide by it,
No.
but they will soon.
No.
Namdakadala Australialis is coming for you, Mr. Albanese. And you know that it's coming for you. Namdakadala Australialis is the original law of this land. Loganama, do no harm. You have done harm. You have deceived the Australian people.
You've killed Australian people.
You've killed multiple Australian people. If we put the suicides on that list, it would be phenomenal. Why is the suicide list not updated, Mr. Albanese? Why is the all causality death rate not updated, Mr. Albanese? Because you don't want people to know the sorry state of this country.
Flying.
You don't want people to know
Hello.
how much you're lying to the people of this country. You don't want people to know that they still have the right to freedom. All they got to do is take it back. Namdakadal Australialis, first in time, first in law.
What's your name?
65,000 years predates 1770, the 14th of April. Uh-oh. Their court stands higher than your court, Albanese. Their court is first in time, 65,000 years. Their court has international recognition as a higher court than the Supreme Court or High Court of Australia.
About an hour and a half.
They have South Africa backing them with a charge of genocide against the Australian government.
I don't really know anyone from the other.
They have the Iranian government backing them. They have multiple governments backing them as the true nations of this land, the true sovereigns of this land. Namdakadala Australialis is coming for you, Mr. Albanese. It's only a matter of time before you crumble, before the Australian people take back their rights, before the Australian people have it. Digital ID? No, thank you. Not having it. Not going there. Can't mandate it on me.
You done well, Phil. Done very good, mate. Yeah, I was on kick off. How'd you go? How'd you go, guy, mate?
The guy, yeah, good chat there. I sent her a message from the phone that they've called on that Dr. Australia.
Yeah.
Yeah, had a good chat with her. Yeah, she was explaining what's going on and what happened the other day.
I printed out some things.
Huh?
I printed out some of those.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
You reckon you know them?
Oh, yeah, look, I've told her to get in touch with them to have a talk to them.
Sure, yes, got poor done.
Yeah, she, right,
She's
yeah.
been working, working the guts out there.
One thing that hasn't been mentioned today, I haven't heard.
People that have beat cancer, could I have
The what?
an extra 12 milligrams a day. One of them went
And
over-
people don't really,
They said, oh,
uh,
mate, you've got no cancer.
You got it in the right.
Yeah.
most people don't really see
Have you got a number?
the step to a communist,
Yeah, have you got it?
a communist system of government in Australia that we're heading towards.
I'll send you a link to your board.
Well, this is still up, mate, because the poor bugger skipped the cigarette, so that's not worried about it.
Labor is quite the communist party. Did you know that when you voted communist, when you voted Labor? I didn't. But just look at their actions. What do we, what's the complaint about China and their propaganda? Is it that you can't say anything against the government? Or you'll be persecuted? When they have government officials in their government departments that disappear because they go against the government line. Have you ever noticed that Labor always has to vote with the government, with their party? They can't do conscience votes. Or at least the Liberals can do a conscience vote, and they sometimes elect to do that.
Wasn't there?
But Labor, you do.
Obviously.
Yeah, good, mate. Yeah. Cheers, mate.
That's how they run, and that's how they want to run this entire nation.
I think so.
Therefore, how great is a disinformation bill where the media like Channel 9, Channel 7, your newspapers, ABC of course, they can say whatever the hell they want. And that's all perfectly proper news, official news that you must accept. The government can say anything they want. Whether it be a lie, and we know they tell a lot of lies. They can lie, deceive, make promises, break their promises, that's all okay. But if you, the general public, say anything that disagrees with what the government's saying, guess what? You're going to be censored. Does that just sound a little bit China communism to you? It does to me. Now the Teals are voting for it too. Someone the other day was trying to argue with me that the Teals are actually independent of each other. And it's like, no, they're paid by the same good bloke. There's some rich man paying them that's funded their campaigns. And therefore they vote in a certain way in Parliament, or they will no longer be Teals as well. So it's a bit like America, whoever's got the money has the campaigns and they get voted in. And the campaign's all about mind control as well. It's all advertisement, mind control, getting you to think certain ways to vote for certain people. And that's just one policy of Labor, the disinformation bill, to silence the people. And Lord knows they want to silence the people because the amount of truth we're coming out with, exposing their lies and their corruption. What was that great quote I saw today when the good man gets, what's that one, the criminals or what?
The government can only control criminals, and therefore they'll keep creating laws until good men become criminals.
Yeah, so what's the short version of that?
That is it. Oh, sorry. When exposing criminal becomes criminal,
Yeah.
you run by criminals.
When exposing criminals becomes criminal,
You are run by criminals.
then it shows you're being run by criminals. And that happened today in court in Canberra, if you haven't heard the news. And you probably haven't heard the news because it's just a conspiracy theory. The court date for today to align with the budget. So the national budget will override all other news of the day. So you won't hear about the persecution of David McBride, exposing war crimes in Afghanistan. He didn't commit any war crimes, he just exposed them. And he's now the war criminal going to jail, prison for 28 months for exposing a war crime. That sounds like, was it the criminal? That sounds like making a good guy into a criminal. And it's the criminals making the good guy a criminal to keep him silenced. How was your school excursion visiting the criminals in Parliament House? So Labor disinformation bill is the Communist Party bill, really? Get ready for it. They're all voting for it. Another bit of advice, when you vote, never vote the same party in the lower house and upper house. It's inviting a dictatorship.
Yeah, good to meet you too.
And,
And Milo, is it?
yeah.
Good on you, Milo.
We'll show you something.
Yeah, no, we will. We'll bump into each other. Keep going, keep fighting.
Yeah.
Now what else is this trying to do to control its people?
Nah, but we got
Oh, that's right. They got that digital, what is it, the social credit system.
Yeah, that's right.
How does that work? Facial recognition and like maybe a digital ID?
Yeah. Yeah, the little ID thing passed.
All right. Does that sound anything like what our government's going to bring in, the digital ID? Or digital ID bill?
Just got enough compliance.
Does.
That means we're going to have to give up driver's licenses.
So this Labor, communist Labor government
Drive without driving.
is setting up the framework for a communist takeover of Australia.
Well, you have a look at number like Australia, they're going to start registering vehicles with them. And digital. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'll show you.
And look at the destruction they're causing without those bills already. Inviting 100,000 people to Australia every month. 1 million in a year in the housing crisis. Some people say they're just importing voters because they only just scraped through in the last election. So 1 or 2 million more Labor voters in the country would do very well for the Labor Party.
These guys, they're not registered with these guys.
Another reason is it's great for economics because Australia would be, like Japan is at the moment, in recession if you weren't importing 100,000 people a month.
I've been driving for 6 weeks with it. I've done RBT.
Yeah, economic statistics put Australia just on the verge. Right on the verge of a recession. Of course, that's not good publicity for the Communist Party.
Some people have been told they're unlicensed.
So let's bring in 100,000 people a year, regardless of the cost of the people living in Australia already. The cost of living, the cost of giving up the hope of ever owning your own house, the cost of giving up ever being able to afford a family. How can you afford a family when you can only feed yourself?
That's that link I sent you. That's them.
That's the hope you've given to the young people of this country.
Australians standing there doing that, they have no way of stopping it. And these guys.
There's no hope for young people in this country. There's no future.
It's
Working. Hello, hello.
Can't Google search.
All right, you guys starting soon.
No one knows about it because these guys are blackmailing you. They're making so you can't Google search it now. They only by word of mouth. And so we just got to spread the word of mouth.
All right, I'll wrap it up. There's the next protest coming along.
Yeah, good talk to Guru.
What are you guys on about?
We're still talking with him because he's
I'll come up,
suss it out, make sure it's right.
Anyway, good luck to them. They're a bit more organised. They got their PA set up at the front.
No,
Got a permit.
not for a while.
We don't bother about permits. They granted me one permit, and they never granted to me any more ever again.
Did you apply?
Yeah, I got on the black bet. They were pissed off when I got a permit the first time, mate.
The cops were.
Yeah, Grant come down and goes, got a permit? Yep. Yeah, he was pissed. And he would have had words with
Yeah, you would have
he
made
would have had words to make sure I didn't ever have another permit ever again.
the police would have put in that they can't do it because they're dangerous and whatever.
Yeah,
they can't.
whatever,
You should sue them.
Yeah.
Like apply for a permit,
Yeah, no.
and then when they knock it back, say why. Like, and if they don't
yeah.
tell you, then you
I could have done. You could say, well, you're
Well, you
hindering a
could do it,
political
right?
protest or something.
Yeah,
Couldn't
you
you?
could do it any day because if they've knocked it back already, that means they'll knock it back again.
Yeah, I could apply for another one.
Yeah.
I would have applied for one today to have a tent or something, just to have the flags up there, but
No, I haven't.
if it, but,
Yeah, send
yeah,
it to
didn't
me.
need
You've
to.
got my number. Just send it to me. That was the guy who just got, I just talked to. Who sent, I said that link to.
AB saying McBride got 6 years in prison. Oh, so he got 6 years, did he?
All
And
up, but
2.6 with non-parole, like 26.
Once you add it all up,
So he actually got 6 years.
but he's not.
it's,
He'll serve minimum 27 or whatever.
yeah, so it's non-parole for 26, 27, 28 was it? 28.
27.
20, yeah. Wow. Okay, so he got 6 years, Nobby. I didn't. Yeah, right. I didn't get that info. I was late to I was out in my car when he came out. Oh, thanks for that, Nobby. Yeah, you'd be right. 6 years, though, so they got their maximum sentence.
Oh, I think he was facing like life in jail.
No, I think 6 years because it was 2 years for each. Phil was saying it was 2 years for each crime was the maximum. So, but then they were asking, instead of doing it, to do it consecutive, so it goes for 6 years.
What's this quietness?
I thought they were sort of coming down, getting ready to go.
Thank you. Nice one, you mate.
Oh, yeah.
I've got to go.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, yeah.
Isn't it great to see the children here today?
What's your name?
Vaughan.
Vaughan.
Will they be free
What's your name?
Paul.
Paul.
when they grow up in the
All right.
future?
See you, Vaughan.
Will the digital ID have any effect on their freedom?
Oh, yeah, when am I going to go? That's a question.
Will they be able to travel without the government knowing where they are and their every move?
Get warm.
Will they be free to buy a
It's gonna
steak
get cold real quick, eh?
anytime they want, as many times as they want? Will they be free to have a pizza whenever they want, even though they have high blood cholesterol levels?
Will they be free to play their video games? China, you can only have
Will
half
they
an
be
hour.
free to buy and play video games that they choose or their parents choose that is okay for them, even if the age limit is a bit higher than their age? Probably not. Why? Because the digital ID will have them registered with the government.
I'm going to go get something for
The
them.
digital ID will control what they can and can't do. And when their parents go to pay for their whatever, their childcare or whatever, they'll say, oh, you haven't had this medical procedure or that medical procedure, so you can't do that. Your kid can't go there. Well, that's already happening today. Children do not have the freedom to spend time with other children if they haven't followed certain medical procedures. Well, their parents haven't followed certain medical procedures because the government say so. Why? Because the government say so. You're not listening. How long before the government say that you can't go somewhere because you haven't followed certain medical procedures? Oh, they've already done that.
Oh, hey, Cara.
Oh no. Well, what about when they know where you are? Because your digital ID is scanned. Your facial recognition information from your digital ID is registered with all the computers. Do you know that when you walk into Woolworths, your face is scanned and you're given a red dot and your computer system follows you all over Woolworths? And when you get to the checkout, if you just walk straight through,
Oh,
you have a red dot on your head, the gates won't open. What? That's right. Unless you stop and pay for the items that you've bought, the gates don't open. Because when you pay for your items, your red dot becomes a green dot. And then you're allowed to travel through the gates because they'll open for you. That doesn't seem right. That's the digital ID at work already. Just on a smaller scale.
over this side.
That's the digital ID controlling where and what you can do on a smaller scale. The Albanese government has just decided to donate $288 million of taxpayers' money to further its digital ID
I bought
setups
10-litre cold
set up
waters,
in this country.
and they kept telling me I had to pay. And
When
I
you
said,
decide you're going to
"You're
travel
lying.
from
Have a look
Melbourne
at the
to
brand of the
Canberra
water."
to support David,
Why
I go, no, you're not. We're not going to let you pay for fuel.
Scan up.
What?
Try to scan
Because
Because we don't believe what you're believing.
Yeah.
put it on the
We don't agree with what you're doing.
and
So you
they're like,
can't
"You gotta pay for the water, you
step
gotta pay for the water."
into your
And
car,
I bought it at
buy
Coles, I
fuel
bought
to
it at
travel to
Coles, I bought
Melbourne.
it at Coles. She came round with the scanning machine.
That's a bit of a
"Oh, it's
worry,
from
isn't it?
Coles." I told
That's
you that
digital ID at work.
times.
When you go to buy
They can't read.
your second steak for the week.
It wouldn't.
No, you've had red meat this week.
Like,
You can't
I
have that
couldn't
second
scan.
steak.
After I said I paid for it at Coles, it wouldn't scan.
When you go to buy a pizza, you go to order a pizza. No, your doctor's report says you have high cholesterol. You can't have a pizza.
Coles brand.
Digital ID.
Oh, I'm Woolworths.
You scan your digital ID when you went to the doctor's, and then your credit card is registered with your digital ID, and your phone number is registered with the digital ID, so they know you're ordering a pizza, but you have high cholesterol, so you can't have it. You go to Woolworths, you go to scan your bacon, won't scan. Go to scan your eggs, won't scan. What's going on, you say to the lady at the counter. She says, oh, excuse me, sir, but it says here, your digital ID says that you're not allowed those items because you have high cholesterol. The doctor said last week.
And what if
Uh-oh,
you're buying someone else's
digital ID at work. Thank you very much.
Have they figured that out yet? When you're Melissa, but you're buying Karen's bacon. That's going to be fun. Karen's not allowed to have bacon
that'd
because
be
she sent
good.
Melissa shopping.
Those people, those
Victoria, you're not
children's
allowed to give
freedoms
your lettuce to
have just
your neighbour
been
that you grew
led down the
garden.
garden path.
think I'm done for the day.
Yeah, it's sort of. I think
It's been a big day.
Yeah,
I didn't have much sleep last night.
yeah, no. It's like I had about 20 minutes in the
Yeah, I'll
I
sleep.
dropped the paper on the floor and this guy picked it up and woke me up.
You got to be careful of that because I've seen people actually have their license cancelled for what's when you fall asleep?
Oh,
Narcolepsy, yeah, because they fell asleep in the registry.
Oh, really?
They cancelled his license.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. They said, oh, you got narcolepsy. And they went, no, I haven't. He said, I'm just tired. I just had a big day. No. And they cancelled his license and made him go and get doctor's reports and everything before they get back to him. Fucking crazy, eh? Digital ID.
Yeah, I don't know, 2 hours left. That's how long to get ready.
Yeah. I think you're on the way. You did pretty well to get here at all. For the time you did. You're pretty much right on time. But just right track.
I wasn't conscious for about 20 minutes. The traffic light was first up.
Is this the battery out of the city?
Yeah. Yeah, I reckon I could hear it distorting before, so.
Yeah, so also, yeah, when you walk away so far, it starts distorting and you know it's going to stop in your movement. Are we ready to go?
Yes, I am.
I'm really ready to go for ages. Why have you been holding me back? Hello. No, don't want to go. You're going to lose the job. You're doing amazing. Thank you very much for your time. You want to be patient? You want to learn to be patient? Is that right? You have. You've done really well. Yeah, because it means all about you, right? You've done extremely well. You take this. Oh, that's so fun. You did a good job with the last minute time.
Yeah, it's fine. That's all my pile, that, all that stuff. I have to go get it. That's scary. That's on.
Well done, Jay. I'm amazed that you answered. I said you did go earlier, but I'm so impressed that you did. I'm going to go and drop it off. I'm so impressed that you didn't. Yeah, Paul, I'll take that battery.
Oh,
There you go, mate.
Football song.
Yeah, I can have a quick look for you. Good on it. 448. Well done, not having one of these. Yeah, they do. They certainly do, sir. Go, I'm coming. Go, go the wrong way. That'll get it. That'll get the light. That'll get the light.
Yeah, I guess so. You want to stop it? Got any last words? No, and everyone's being pretty quiet now. All right. I guess that's it.
Oh, nobbies everywhere.
It's the first. Yeah, he's having his bacon and eggs for breakfast. Phil made him hungry.
All right, guys, signing off. See you tomorrow.
And Exposure 28 if you're not on it. Hashtag Exposure 28 YouTube.
Yeah, hashtag
Only
Exposure28.
turn this on because
All one word.
Yeah, run out of.
JJ and United Oz protests.
That's Cara.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Hey, Cara. Yeah.
Cool.
Hey, Cara. Let's walk down.
You know, they might see.
I'll turn it off down here.
Oh, I did go and take a walk. That's good.
Alright. Sorry if I made anyone dizzy. Yeah, so Thursday over on the other channel on the hashtag Exposed28, we'll have an early 8 o'clock, 8:30 start before we head off on another adventure. And I think there's a few other things going on the weekend, so we'll keep you up to date. And speak to you then. Have a good night.